Welcome to, what are we welcoming to? Welcome to Malcolm and We, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com, a streaming platform heard round the world and beyond. And here we have I'm Malcolm Berman. This is my co-host, Yana Larson. And today is going to be something, we were supposed to have Callum Citron on, but Callum uh, is down with the COVID, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to have to reschedule him for another date. But in the meantime, tell us about what you've been doing lately, Yana.
Yes. Well, in my other part of my job, I am the HR administrator and deputy director manager person for We the World. And so, with our 11 Days of Global Unity huge event, our annual event, I've been co-hosting our interviews for each day of our 11 Days of Global Unity, and it's a big year this year because it's also the 20th anniversary of 11 Days of Global Unity. So each day of the 11 days is dedicated to a theme that the developers of the 11 Days of Global Unity determined to be 11 major themes that starts with unity and ends with peace. So it starts September 11th, when we all know what that day is, and also I understand it's your anniversary.
My anniversary
Welcome,
was
but
my
not that year.
yeah, it was my 30th wedding anniversary.
Oh my goodness! And then so it goes from unity, and I said it ends in with peace. And I was going to try and write down all the themes in order of appearance, but I didn't get to it. But I've been made some notes about some significant events that occurred during the 11 days of global unity, and one that is was really special this year is that we had a couple days of like pre 11 days to kind of like create some excitement and buzz. And so Rick Ulfik, who is our founder and the co-creator of 11 Days of
Who's
Global
on the show?
Unity.
I think we
Uh,
had him on the show, I think
yeah,
3 weeks
yeah,
ago.
yeah. That was fun. He interviewed Dr. Jane Goodall, and which is really amazing. And they are friends. Um, she was actually an original founder of We the World because her life's work aligns so closely with Rick's idea of what We the World would be. She's 90 years old, and she still does a lot of interviews every day. She travels around the world still. She's one fantastic, feisty, amazing woman of 90 years, and she looks really good. So her work must agree with her because, it was amazing.
Yeah, mainly
So anyway, that was that. And
she started
then
working with she started, excuse me, a minute. She just originally started working with primates, so that's what she's known for.
yes, yes. Um, so let's see, looking at my notes here. So tomorrow will be the International Day of Peace. It's celebrated worldwide, and the summit panel. Every day there was a summit panel from at noon, and then shown also at 6. And then there were other presentations during the day for throughout the 11 days that pertain to the theme. So tomorrow's the summit peace panel is with Fumi Johns and the Seven Sisters, and they're all women who work in the area of the work is all peace related. So they are with major organizations, and they're all over the world. So it was an incredible gathering of all these women for this peace panel. And then tomorrow there will be a huge in person event at Times Square. and all sorts of events going on. I think Rick might be playing keyboard at some point during the day on Times Square. And so that'll be exciting. I'm not for sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. And then, so today's panel is on disarmament, and the speakers for that are Alan Ware. He's with, I have to look up my notes, PNND, which stands for Parliamentarians for Nuclear Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. So,
are these panels open to the public, or can they?
well, no, they're not open to the public. There was no in public arrangement. They're shown on Facebook every day, and so there's you could watch it every day, but they were all recorded beforehand. And then
Right,
so
but
we had Alan Ware from with the PNND and other peace disarmament groups. And then we had Ken Mayers, Veterans for Peace. And so that was very interesting. He was, he's a veteran, so obviously he was in the service for a long time, but he was also very interested in working towards disarmament. So then the day before that, yesterday, is the theme of freedom. And there were 2 PhD doctors there for our meeting, Michael Wayne and Marty K. Casey, talking about the subject of freedom. And there were just us. It was just incredible. So many fascinating people that came together to talk about these subjects. They're all friends, close acquaintances of Rick's, and some are even now friends and close acquaintances of mine. So I always, of course, mention Malcolm and we, and I hope to have many of these people on our show. For example, Alan Ware was one of our guests quite a while ago.
Yeah, that name sounds very, very familiar to me, Alan Ware.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand. He had the New Zealand accent. Actually, he spends most of his time in Prague, Czechoslovakia. Now that's where their office is, and as well as they have an office in Switzerland too. So he's all over the place. That for Unity, which started off our event, we had Audrey Kitagawa and Steve Farrell of Humanities Team, and our own Sharon Rhea, who we had on the show. She has is also she's very involved with We the World in an administrative fashion, and she has her own organization. She's a certified therapist. She has an organization that she has started called No Judgment, Just Love. So that might ring a bell when you think about Sharon Rhea. For interdependence, which is really kind of a complicated concept. I think it's very cerebral in my way of looking at it, but it really relates all the campaigns together in some way, because you can't talk about one without talking about the other, really. And she leads that campaign. Her name is Grandmother Shannon Crossbear. You may remember having her on. She's of the Ojibwe people in northern Minnesota and Canada. And then we also had a very special guest that I can't wait to get on the show. He's super interesting. His name is Jamin Shively, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's just one of those very engaged, interested and interesting people. And he has recently formed, and I know you'll like this, with other people, called People for Cooling the Planet. EFCP. And so, because I know a lot of your interest is in environmental issues.
Yeah,
And so,
my big thing is no matter how peaceful people are and how what happens, the world is may not survive the way it is, or the earth might not survive the way it is, because it's definitely climate changes. I mean,
yes,
all you have to do is open your eyes, and like in 2 weeks ago
right.
it was like 110 degrees.
That's why it really, I'm not a violent person, but sometimes I feel like I want to reach into the TV and strangle people because, they're worrying about inflation, the price of gas, and all that. And I'm thinking the issue we should make sure we're going to the polls to vote for democracy. I don't care whether you don't like the Democrats. I don't care if you don't like Kamala or any Democrat. We have to vote for democracy, because if we vote for democracy, then we can work towards taking care of climate issues. But in an autocratic society, where millionaires are in charge, I mean, I don't. They think they can take their money with them, you know?
There's one candidate that is involved with climate issues, and there's another candidate that thinks it's all a hoax.
Oh, yes, of course.
So, not being political, but one of them who is involved is Kamala Harris, and the other who's not involved is Donald J. Trump. So for me,
Yes.
it's not a choice of Republicans or Democrats. It's a choice of Vice President Harris, yes, and Donald Trump, go home. Not being political.
No. Mm-mm. It's factual, isn't it?
It's common
That
sense.
one is for democracy and the
Well,
other is
I'm not
not.
even sure what democracy is, but
Well,
one is for
one can
saving.
get into many arguments about what true democracy, but there's a way better chance of democracy with one candidate than there is with the others.
Not getting political, but we don't have a true democracy. When we
No,
have
we
the
don't. That's what I just said. But
when we have
that's
we,
that's another
it's
day's
another
discussion.
show.
Sure. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about other people that we had on. I didn't have time to get all of my notes together.
Yeah, but
Um,
by the way, this is an impromptu show because until about an hour ago, Callan was going to be our guest. So I have imposed upon Yana to sum up the 11 days of global unity. And so she is, I put her on a spot. So and she's looking at her notes now. Please, she's doing a yeoman's job. It's a great job of putting it together in 10 minutes.
oh, have I filled out 10 minutes now?
Actually, yes. You filled out 13 minutes already. But
Well, let
continue.
me just say this that everybody, if you're interested, please go to 11daysofglobalunity.org and you can find out everything that happened. And 11 is a numeral, so it's 11daysofglobalunity.org. And there's a lot there. We, of course, want people to see what we did, and we Malcolm and We is an arm of We the World, and we are in conjunction with working with Malcolm Berman for MalcolmPresents.com so that we can have a great collaboration, and
Right.
because that's what we want to have. And I just wanted, you interrupted me, so now I forgot what I was
I'm
going to
sorry. That's what my therapist says. You interrupt me.
Oh, I know what I wanted to see. Money. We are always looking for money. So if you can make a contribution to us at we.net, and you can see, you can see replays of all the shows, and no gift is too small, and it's all appreciated. And we don't have a paid staff. We're volunteers, so it doesn't go to overhead. It goes to doing the good work, and we always welcome volunteers, and we love our
Yeah,
volunteers.
but basically of saving the world. Because if you go to the shows that we've had on Malcolm and We, uh, we're interviewing people from all walks of life and all countries
Yes.
and all I'm not trying to think of and yeah, Asia and China and well, no,
Well, not China, but we definitely we have a huge presence
from
in
India
Africa and
and Africa.
India. Oh, and we're branching out into Latin America. We had two really fabulous speakers. One was talking. Well, they both were there to talk about land sovereignty. Who has rights to the land, and but who is in control of them? And so we will really be hoping to get more involved with those cultures. Very
Yeah,
fascinating.
and we're also hoping to get some of these people who are interested to put their own shows on. And Yana is working diligently, trying to put other shows on that we could put on Malcolm and We to do a and
Right.
we've only been on I think less than 2 years.
No, it's just a little over a
A
year.
little over a year. That's less than 2 years.
But we started working, oh, before on it. But
Planning, right.
uh, I know you always want the numbers, but I can only give the analytics numbers on our podcast that's on Buzzsprout, and we're almost at 400 downloads, which is really amazing. And we can even see where all we are being watched, and it's all over the world.
Yeah,
So we're making progress.
I'm working on our first million.
Yes, our
That,
first million. We're,
that's my goal.
like this, like this far from zero.
No, no, what I wanted to start like a prairie fire, just with, the sparks of the show, and all of a sudden it ignites.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that
by
would
the
be
way,
nice.
you call also contact me at malcolmpresents@gmail.com or Malcolm
Yep.
Berman, Burman @gmail.com to see if you have any suggestions for our shows or what you would want to put on, or we welcome all contributions to keep us going. Because again,
Yes,
right now we're all volunteers, including
yes,
me.
and if you want to be on the show, let us know. We'd love to hear from anybody and everybody who's working to make the world a better place, and we'll give you we'll give you a place to tell your story
And to shine.
and shine.
Oh,
That's right.
I forgot who we had somebody I forget who on the show, but we're talking about music and the song that I like back into my folk days is This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All it
Well,
takes is
you can sing that song, Malcolm, for us. Like, get out your guitar and your tambourine and whatever.
right. We could join it. I could sing, and we'll have actually we have Rick play the piano, and anybody
There you
you you could do the tambourine.
go. I'll try.
But anyway, have we recorded all the shows, the 11 days, or we're still?
Um,
Well, you said
well,
some
there's
others.
still there's they've all been recorded, but some are being edited and having intros and outros added, and so there's one more that will be shown tomorrow.
Okay, and where can we see it? Where I know eventually we're going to see it on Malcolm Presents. You go to uh, Malcolm Presents, Malcolm and We, and there's a thing at these and an addendum to the Malcolm and We. You'll see 11 Days of Unity. Click onto that, and you'll be able to see all the shows. And where
That's
else can they
right.
see it?
Well, they can find out all about We the World, and they can find out all about Malcolm Presents and Malcolm and We. So it's the start of something exciting and amazing.
Yeah, and it's the start of the new year because we're going to have actually the Jewish New Year.
Ah,
It's the beginning of October, I think. It's Rosh Hashanah.
Oh,
and I don't know what year it is. It's 57 something,
my goodness.
but I think it starts the 2nd or 3rd of October, culminating 10 days later in Yom Kippur, which is our day of repenting. And this is where
Atonement.
atonement. And basically, we as Jews, we fast. That's abstinence of water and food
No
for
water even?
no water even. You're not even supposed to brush your teeth.
Oh dear.
But the thing that I don't like is you're not supposed to have sex either. It's verboten. Yes, but because you're supposed to be atoning for your sins.
Oi.
And the thing that I like, when I go to temple and the rabbi gives the sermons, you cannot ask God for forgiving your sins for sins that you've done against other people. You only can ask God for sins you've done against God. For other people, you have to ask them to forgive you.
Do you
And
have a long list, Malcolm?
me, no, I'm perfectly pure. You know me for a few years now, right? 3 years. You know that I
I
have
I myself am pure and innocent
I
too.
have innocent. I don't know, but I'm pure. But
Let's hear it for pure.
yeah. And again, what I'm aligned with is we the world. Part of the thing is they ask you as a Jewish person, what can you do to make the world better? It's not what God can do for you. It's what you could do to help God or the world to be a better place to live in.
Well, you can join in with We the World
Right.
and
And that's why I joined in
we'll
with We
give
the
you a
World.
job. No, you can tell us what you'd like to do and we'll help you do it. That's what
Right.
it is.
Anyway, since this is going to be a little abbreviated show, I think we've covered everything that we wanted to. Are you have anything to add, or have you been spoken out? Well, I mean, you're busy. I mean, I'm trying to contact you, and you are so busy
Well,
doing things, which is great.
right now, between feeling like I'm on bordering on dementia, I'm taking care of my right knee that I
Yeah.
somehow injured. And so I'm going to just sit with my legs up and do rest, ice, elevation, and compression.
And what I do is ibuprofen or Motrin, and try meditating.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I could do that. I think I
Because
might sleep, actually.
no, you're supposed to meditate and do a mantra. You also meditate. To me, what I think is the ultimate cure for anything, the body can cure itself. We just know we just have to know how to call the various parts, to task. So if your knee hurts, just concentrate on talk to your brain, and the brain knows everything. The brain
Yeah,
controls the body.
okay.
Tell
I'll
the
do that.
brain that your knee hurts, and could
Yeah.
you send whatever it needs to make the knee not hurt? If it's
Yes, I
if
will
it's
do
an
that.
if it's an infection, I know they send white blood cells
Ooh,
for
okay.
infections, because that's when you see when pus
I
gets.
don't think I have an infection. I
No,
think I
no, you
just,
don't have an infection, but like when pus comes to a cut or something, it's a white blood cells coming trying to kill the germs. But I'm sure
thank you.
there are other things that the body can uh, emit that will cure your knee.
And it's power positive thought too.
Oh, definitely. Because the mind controls everything. That's what they do is in mind control, when they teach you to pain control. They teach
Yeah,
you
it's sort of
to
like
not,
Lamaze breathing for my
right.
knee. Yeah.
They teach you how not to pay attention to your pain. Because what happens is when something hurts,
You,
you focus on it.
yeah, you do. So let's focus on world peace.
World peace. And electing Kamala Harris's person. I have to get into that. I have to get the plug in because even if we reach 10 people, the 10th person might be the one that sways the vote because because of the electoral college, it's not a
Yeah,
popularity vote. It's
that
not who gets the
darn
most vote, who gets the most
college
vote in each
thing.
state.
So let's just all pray for peace, do our part, go to the polls, absentee
And
voting,
if you're
whatever
not
you need to do,
and if you're not
register.
register now. Make sure that you have a voice.
Do your part.
Do your part. And anyway, 25 minutes is gone.
And we were only going to do 10.
I know.
You kept me talking.
That's not too difficult. But
That's true.
you should go off to some of my
Talked
other
about anything.
you should go to some of my other shows. Tush Twins.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Tush Twins, I have two women from Brooklyn. And you think I interrupt people? They let me get a word in edgewise.
Well, yeah, when women are talking,
But
yeah.
anyway, I'll let you go to finish up the 11 days.
Okay, well,
And,
thank you.
and you have to announce it when we can see all the 11 days and then the meet.
Well, you can see it now if you go to 11 days of globalunity.org. You can see what has already been shown, and you can see what the upcoming schedules for tomorrow.
Okay, and I can't wait till you can put all the shows on Malcolm and We.
I know, I can't wait either.
Okay.
So
And
excited.
in the meantime, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I wish Callum to get better fast
Yes, yes.
and tell him that we're going to have him on because we've had him on one of our beginning shows.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So I'd love to see him again and see what he's been up to.
Yes. Can't wait. He's an amazing young man.
And meantime, have a great weekend,
Yes, everybody.
everybody. And you've been listening to Malcolm and We, heard on malcolmpresents.com. Tune us in. Where should be a new show each week. Could be a different day, but it's a new show each week, and you can hear all the old shows. And that's what you have to do when you do it alone. You have to promote what time it is, the show.
Oh, well, you
What were
mean
you?
our Malcolm and
Yeah,
We? It's, uh,
actually, the time of the relevant
yeah.
because
We
we're
do our shows at 2 p.m. EST on Fridays of
right. So there
every
should be a
week.
new one each week, and I keep on saying let's have a new one each week, because I want our audience to be able to tune in each week to see a new show and be
And
excited
yeah,
about what's
that's a lot
happening.
of work he makes me do too, and I'm
Yeah, but look, I mean, when I met you, your hair was short. Now look at your hair. It's been growing. Anyway, have a great week. Uh, I'll see you next week, the latest.
Bye
Bye.
bye.